You want to have a skinny girl summer, you want to lose some weight and look actually amazing and not have another summer where you feel super uncomfortable in your summer clothes, where you feel super uncomfortable in a bikini, but instead you're gonna rock the beach in your dream body. Then you need to adapt a skinny girl mindset. I don't want you to go on another dumbass diet. What I want you to do is think like a skinny girl. This is going to be a lifestyle. This is not just for the summer where you drop some weight and then afterwards you just put it all back on. We're done with the yo-yo dieting. We're done with binge restrict BS. We are going to become skinny girls for good. It's going to be a lifestyle. It's going to be sustainable and it's also going to be healthy. So don't worry about this being unhealthy or toxic or anything. You need to start thinking like a skinny girl, and that's what I'm going to share with you in this video of how you're going to do that. And at the end of this video, you're going to learn how you will adopt the skinny girl mindset in one really, really easy way. We're gonna rewire your brain to get a skinny girl brain. Skinny girls just don't eat a lot. And this is not because they're on a diet. This is not because they restrict themselves. This is not because they starve themselves. This is because if you're in a smaller body, you genuinely need less food. You honestly need a lot less food than you think you need. Look at the naturally thin people around you. They don't eat a lot. They nibble a little bit here. They have a little bite there. Sometimes they eat a big meal, but then they don't really eat a lot for the rest of the day or the next day. And this is not because they then restrict themselves. This is because they naturally are not hungry. Small portions will actually give you energy. You will know this from yourself. A large portion does not give you energy. A large portion depletes energy. A large portion makes you tired, makes you sluggish, makes you full, makes you want to lay down and sleep. A small portion, obviously, enough so that you don't feel hungry anymore. But a small portion gives you energy, doesn't make you bloated, doesn't make you tired. This is what food is meant to do. It's meant to give you energy. If you feel constantly tired after eating, you're either eating the wrong foods, but mainly it is because you're eating too much. Skinny girls are obsessed with feeling their best. Skinny girls are honoring their body. Overeating, constantly snacking is not honoring your body. Naturally skinny girls, in their mindset, they don't want to feel full. They don't overeat because they don't like the feeling of being overly full. They don't like the feeling of overeating. My naturally thin friends, they barely overeat. They always eat to just enough because that's when they feel their best. They obviously don't want to be hungry. No one likes to be hungry. Yeah, they eat when they're hungry, but they don't stuff their face. Skinny girls eat to 80%. So they eat until they're comfortably full. And that's why it's 80% because 100% is already full. Full. And anything over 100% is when you're like, when it gets into the feeling of sick and like unbuttoning your pants. And here's a picture for you what 80% means. 80% means that you could put on a bikini and still feel good. 80% means that you could go on a jog. If you're too full to go on a jog, I don't mean like a 10K run, I mean on a jog, then you're too full. 80% is the feeling when you're not hungry anymore, so you don't have that hunger pain anymore. 80% is when you're comfortably full. They don't eat when they're not hungry. I said earlier, you need less food than you think you do. And that's because if you actually stop eating all day, if you just stop for a second and wait for your next meal, wait for hunger, wait for hunger in your body, you will see that you need a lot less food than you think you do. And if you stop overeating with your portion sizes and you actually realize, oh, 80% gives me energy and this is exactly what I need, you will see that you eat way more than your body actually needs to function properly. And skinny girls, especially naturally skinny girls who are not dieting, they are so in tune with their hunger and fullness signals. They don't like to be overly full, so they eat when they're hungry. You know these people who don't really think about food until they're actually noticing that they're hungry? That happens when you stop putting food on a pedestal and you literally force yourself, because when you come from a diet background and food is like, you know, you're addicted to food or food is on a pedestal for you and you think about food all the time, you have a lot of food noise. People who've never dieted, they don't have food noise. You need to force yourself to wait for hunger. You need to force yourself to not eat in between meals and wait for hunger. This needs to be one of your challenges because you need to train your body to actually stop snacking and stop wanting food the whole time, because you don't actually need food. You need food when you're actually hungry. Of course, skinny girls also sometimes eat when they're not hungry. So this is not really like toxic, oh my god, you can never eat when you're not hungry. Of course, they have like a snack here and there, but it's not something that they always think about, oh my god, when is is my snack, now it's my morning snack, now it's my afternoon snack, and they think about food all the time. Genuinely, they eat when they're hungry, period. And this will mean for you that you will eat a lot less food than you currently do, and this one might be hard for you because food is important to you. Food is a coping mechanism for you, but you need to break up with your toxic relationship with food. People who eat to enough and people who are honoring their hunger and fullness cues, this is not toxic. Yeah, I feel like now it's like, oh my god, this is toxic if you don't overeat. No, it is not a good relationship you have with food if you're constantly thinking about food, if you put food on a pedestal, if this is your coping mechanism. Overeating is not a healthy habit. Being constantly worried about what to eat next, having food as like on the main forefront of your head, and this is all you care about, this is not a healthy relationship, and you need to break up with it. And the only way you break up with it is if you do a hard cut and you really create this skinny girl mindset of I eat when I'm hungry. And the first few times, the first few days, the first few weeks even, this will be difficult. You know these girls who, if they get offered chocolate or a piece of cake or something free, they just say no. And this is not because they're on a diet. This is not the kind of saying no.
When oh no, I'm on a diet, I'm like restricting my calories, I need to watch what I eat.
No, it's because they just don't want it. Just because food is there and it's free doesn't mean you have to put it in your mouth. Next, skinny girls don't drink their calories. Skinny girls drink a lot of water, they drink a lot of tea, drink 3 to 4 liters of water, honestly, because oftentimes you're hungry when you're actually thirsty. But they don't drink fizzy juice all the time. They don't drink orange juice all day. All these calorific Starbucks drink all the time. Sometimes they have one, of course, but it's a treat. And also sometimes they drink alcohol, they drink some wine, they enjoy their wine, but it's not something that they have all the time. If you want to be a skinny girl, you need to watch what you drink because there's so many calories in alcohol. There's so many calories in those Starbucks drinks. Super easy to pack on the calories, especially if you struggle with weight loss. Next, food is not a reward for skinny girls, okay? You're not a dog. You don't need food as a reward. Skinny girls just don't see food as,
oh, I need a reward now. I've just had such a hard day at work. I need like a big treat. I need to order pizza because
I deserve it. They don't have this mindset of I deserve food. This again happens when you have either restricted yourself from food a lot and food just like gives you this instant dopamine hit, or it is something that you learned in childhood where you were giving food as reward, and that's kind of how you learned that food is a reward for you, but it's not. And this is not a healthy way of seeing food, because then you will always have this relationship with food where food is on a pedestal and it's something like so amazing. You deserve food every day, okay? You deserve to eat every day. This is just a given. Skinny girl mindset as food is a lot more neutral. It gives you energy, it tastes good, it's fun activity to have a meal together, but that's it. It doesn't have this intense emotional value. I know a lot of naturally thin women and they love eating, they love food, they love cooking, they love to go out for meals, but other than when it's time to eat, they don't really think about it. Don't reward yourself with food. Do something different. Get a massage, get your nails done, meet a friend, go for a nice walk, get some nice skincare, something that helps you to glow up. Maybe make a list of rewards of 10 things that you can use a reward that is not food. Just don't finish food just because it's on the plate. I'm a plate clearer, so I get it, but it's a really unhealthy habit, okay? It's really not helping you, especially in weight loss, and it's generally just keep you in the overeating cycle. So in order to stop this, you need to be okay with either throwing food away or leaving food behind. You can put it in the fridge, you can take a goodie bag if you're in a restaurant, but if you're at 80%, you're not gonna stuff your face just because it is on the plate. Skinny girls don't do this. If you go out for a meal with a naturally thin woman, you will see that they normally will leave food behind, and not because they're on a diet and they're now, oh my god, I cannot eat anymore, and then they think about the food on the plate literally the whole time, can't even focus on the freaking conversation because all they think about is like, oh my god, there's still food on the plate, oh my god. There's something that you need to work on with a relationship in food. No, they just leave food behind because they don't want it anymore. And oftentimes they don't even take a goodie bag. But it's not the idea of like, oh, I paid for it, now I have to eat it, I have to get my money's worth. Next, skinny girls don't have cheat meals or cheat days. I have a whole video on this, why I don't believe in cheat days or cheat meals. This is something that comes from like the fitness world where they're like really strict with macros, and then they need like some release on the weekends. I don't believe in this, and skinny girls don't believe in this either, because what it means is that your current lifestyle is too strict to be sustainable and you need some sort of release. That is not what skinny girls do, because because it's just easy for them. It's just a natural thing that they do. They don't overeat and they don't want to binge on loads of unhealthy foods because it doesn't make them feel the best, because it goes back to being obsessed with feeling good. If you feel like, oh, I need a cheat meal, I need a cheat day, I just need to like go and eat, that means that you're too strict in your daily life with your diet. That means you need to incorporate unhealthy foods more into your diet. You're too restrictive in your thinking of what you should and shouldn't eat. Skinny girl mindset is not about good and bad food. There are foods that give you energy, that make you feel good, that are nutrient dense, that nourish yourself, and then there are fun foods that are nice to have sometimes, that are nourishing for the soul. Skinny girl mindset is literally no crazy food rules, because they don't have this diet thinking. They don't come from this background of this is good, this is bad. This all starts with diet thinking and restricting calories. This I need more, I need more, I need more. That is when you're not really in tune with your body, because your body doesn't want more and more and more and more. You know, when you eat a lot of chocolate or a lot of candy in general, like you don't feel good. It makes you feel really fatigued. You get this like sugar hangover that never feels good. And when you're an intuitive eater, and skinny girls are intuitive eaters, and that's what we want to become, is that you will just listen to your body. One piece of chocolate feels good. 2, 3, 4, 5 do not feel good anymore. So skinny girls eat everything. Think about French women. They eat a lot of pastry. They eat amazing desserts. They also drink like red wine, but they always have a little bit of it. Like they only sometimes have a few bites and then they're okay with it. They don't need more. They don't crave more. They satisfy their like little sweet crave and then they're good, because they know anything more will now tip the scale of me not feeling good anymore. You can eat everything that you want. You can eat pastry, you can eat ice cream, you can eat pizza, you can eat burgers, but you have small portions. And you will notice if you eat way more veggies, if you eat way more protein and way more fiber, that you don't actually crave a lot of junk food. No snacking. Get rid of all your snack foods. Get rid of this constant snacking, this especially ultra processed snacks. They will just increase your hunger. They will just increase your appetite. They will spike your blood sugar. You need to wait for hunger in between your meals. I think about my mom, who grew up in the 60s and 70s, and she's naturally thin. And she said to me, like, we're never snacked back then. When I was a child, snacking was not a thing. You just wait for your next meal. You had some cake Sunday afternoon. You had maybe some dessert after dinner. That was it. If you feel like snacking, have a meal. And if you're not hungry for a full meal, then wait until you're hungry for a full meal. People back then, people in the 60s and 70s, when you look at Woodstock, like these people were thin. These people were naturally skinny. They just didn't eat so much throughout the day. It's literally crazy what we have with the snacking culture nowadays. You always need to have some snacks with you. You cannot wait friggin' 4 hours until you actually have a meal. Next, they don't have scarcity around food. There's always food available. This scarcity mindset around food, that, oh my God, this is my last opportunity to eat now, if you're on holiday or if you're at a party or something and there's food there and you think, oh my God, I have to eat it now, all of it, because this is my only opportunity to do it. That comes from a diet mindset. That comes from that mindset of diet starts tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be restriction. Now is my last chance to eat. Skinny girl mindset, they don't have that. We live in the Western world. There's always food there. That you can go to a supermarket. There's always food there. There will be food tomorrow. If you're on holiday, there will be food in a different destination. Like there's always food there. If you are not living in a country where food is literally scarce, or you're like really poor and you really struggle to get food, like my grandma, when she was in the war back then, she always told me, when I was like, oh my God, grandma, I'm so hungry, she was like, you don't even know what hunger is. Your next meal is literally around the corner. I know what I'm talking about. I used to be overweight, so I understand how it feels to struggle with food, and I'm still working through a lot of things. Yeah, I'm not perfect. You need to take away this urgency and this pressure to now eat it. That urgency is not you. That urgency is not your true self. That urgency is not your higher self. That urgency is your lower self. Next, they're okay to be hungry. Okay, hunger is not a problem. Skinny girls don't panic when they're hungry, they just wait. Or if they're really hungry, they eat. Okay, that's not a problem. You can have a snack. I'm not saying you can never snack. I'm just saying don't make this a habit constantly every day. I feel like people are so scared nowadays of being hungry. Oh my God, I'm being hungry. This is terrible. You're not gonna die. You can wait for your meal. Especially if you're in a calorie deficit and you're actually losing weight and you're eating smaller portions, you will be more hungry. It's literally a normal human sensation to have. They're fueling their body with healthy, nutritious foods. They value their body, yeah? They have respect for their body. They don't see their body as a trash can. They like to eat healthy. They like to fuel themselves. They like to feel good. and not as a diet. It's not a chore for them to eat healthy. They have self-respect for their body and they know that this food is good for their body. Think about how you treat something that you really value. Think about how you treat certain clothes items that you love. How do you value them? Do you hang them up nicely, or do you just like squish them and throw them in the corner? Think about maybe a car or a bicycle or some sort of thing that you have at home that you really value and how you treat that thing. And then think about how you treat your body. This is the only body you have. You will not have another body. This is literally the most valuable possession you have, is your body. You don't value it by constant overeating. You don't value it by never moving. You don't value it by lack of sleep. You don't value it by feeding it horrible food. They eat slowly. If you've ever been out with a naturally thin girlfriend, slow eater. But my mom, for example, as well. I told you she's naturally thin. My God, she's a slow eater. She talks so much in between meals. They just enjoy their meal. They do other things. Sometimes they get up and do things in between and then they come back and finish their meal. They chew their food, they sit down for their meals. One of my friends who is naturally skinny hates walking with food, hates being fast with food. She'd rather not eat than rush it down. She really needs to be in the rest and digest state when she eats and not in the fight or flight response. Yeah, when you walk around eating, when you are rushed eating, you're in the fight or flight response, and that is not actually calming for your body to eat then. Yeah, your body is really stressed. You don't want to really eat in a stress state. You want to be in a rest and digest state. This is much better for your gut health. This will also actually help you to signalize to your brain that you've had a meal, and you will then be less hungry afterwards because your brain has actually registered that you're eating. You're gonna adapt the skinny girl mindset as a lifestyle, as something that you're doing now. This is just who you are. This is your identity. It's like brushing your teeth. It's just something that you do each day. And instead of thinking, oh my God, I'm losing now all this food, I'm not losing now, eating. No, you're gaining a complete new life. You're gaining a complete new body. You're becoming a completely new person. You're becoming the best version of yourself. You're not gonna be a slave to food anymore. You have to brainwash yourself. You're gonna rewire your brain to get a skinny girl brain. You're gonna create a skinny girl alter ego. This can be a different person outside of you. This can be a celebrity, influencer. This can also just be yourself at your best. I like to think about the future skinny girl version of myself, the one that has a dream body that I'm working towards to, that one that not just the body, right? The physical aspect is obviously great and important, and you know, you're gonna feel your best, but it's a whole mental issue, because the way you then show up for yourself, the habits that you will have, all the shitty habits that you are dropping, it will literally up-level your life in so many more aspects than you can even think about. The physical aspect is just one aspect of that. So I like to think about my skinny self version of who I want to be, and I'm going to channel her. So what you're going to do is, when you have the urge to overeat, if you have the urge to finish your plate even though you're already full, you're going to channel the skinny girl alter ego, and you're literally going to come delulu, and you're going to say, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm a skinny girl. I'm not doing this. I'm not eating when I'm not hungry. I'm not just clearing my plate because it's on the plate. Whatever it is that you're currently doing, you just fill that in. You need to create a pattern interrupt by having the awareness of what you're doing now, and this is not what you're doing anymore as your skinny self, because you're stepping into that version of yourself. That is a pattern interrupt for your brain. This is how you rewire your brain. You rewire your brain by the awareness in the moment and then making a different decision. You say, no, pattern interrupt. We're interrupting the habitual pattern that you would normally do, which is clearing your plate, which is eating when you're not hungry, which is going to the cupboard and getting out food in the moment. And we're saying, no, I'm a skinny girl. I'm not doing this. Ooh, no, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not overeating anymore. I'm not stuffing my face when I'm not hungry. This is such a little mindset trick, but it will change your life. I hope this was helpful. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and on Instagram, because I share lots of glow up tips on there as well, also healthy recipes. And make sure to watch this video next, because I think this will also be super helpful for you. Mwah!